When completing your application for a bond to Bank of Zambia, did you ever get confused by the amount that you had indicated as the face value amount on the application form against the amount that Bank of Zambia deducted from your bank account? Could it be a case of I indicated the face value amount of 100,000 on my application for a 10-year bond, however, only 51,000 kwacha was deducted from my bank account? Why didn't Bank of Zambia deduct the entire 100,000 that had transferred to my bank account and which I had indicated as the face value amount on the application for a 10-year bond? Well, as puzzling as this is, it's actually a real query that I got from one of my subscribers, and regularly I do get different questions on different investments from you, my subscribers, and I thank you so much for those questions, either those sent through email or even just by commenting below. It's a great privilege to actually get an interaction from you, my viewers. It shows that the videos are actually, making progress in terms of us becoming financially literate in Zambia. So I really appreciate this, and we need to continue doing so as to become much more engaging and really become much more practical in understanding investments in Zambia. It could be bonds or any other investments. So this is a real question that I got from a subscriber, and I thought I should create a video because maybe one or two of you faced a similar challenge, so we could learn from each other. But before I proceed, I would like to encourage those that haven't subscribed to subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button. It's at the bottom, it's down here. Click subscribe right now. So here is the email this subscriber sent to me. He writes, and he was writing to Bank of Zambia, by the way, and he had copied me into this email. He writes, I recently bid 100,000 kwacha to purchase some 10-year bond. The bid was successful at an award price of 51.7861. In the award advice, you have said 51,786.1 will be deducted from my bank account. The remaining amount, which is 48,213.90, will be left in my account as a discount. But since the minimum bid price is 1,000 kwacha, why wasn't the remaining amount used to purchase additional bonds? He continues, does that mean that to invest the amount of 100,000 kwacha, I would have to make multiple bids? That's what he's asking. So you can see the confusion there, right? On his application, when he filled in this 10-year bond bid application, which is an individual application form you can download from the Bank of Zambia website, when applying, he had put 100,000 kwacha as the face value on the application form. So if you look at this application form, you're going to see where he had indicated the 100,000 kwacha. You can also check the date. It's 20th January 2023. And of course, there are other details on that form that you need to look out for. If you are making an individual application, if you're doing it on your own, straight to Bank of Zambia, you're also required to get a letter of guarantee from the bank, which you should also indicate on this application form. So the confusion is clear. He had indicated 100,000 face value on his bid application form on this 10-year bond in January 2023. However, only 51,786.1 was deducted from his bank account as indicated through the award notice that he was given or he was emailed. Now, why did Bank of Zambia only deduct 51,786.1 even though the bank balance was 100,000 kwacha, and he had clearly indicated on the bid application that it was 100,000 kwacha face value? Now, I can understand the confusion. Before I even go into, looking at what the issue is here, I would encourage you to watch the video I did on the basics of investing in Zambian government bonds. Watch it right here. This video explains in depth, in detail, the entire process of government bonds or investing in government bonds in Zambia. Part of this video speaks about the bidding process or the auction that takes place for competitive bidders. So I won't go into the details. What you need to take note is in this video, you are going to find complete information when it comes to how the bidding process takes place. So in short or in summary, this person is confused because as a non-competitive bidder, they are not allowed to determine a cut-off price or a bid price. They take the bid price or cut-off price that they are offered by Bank of Zambia. So the final bid price that this investor was given on the 20th of January 2023 was 51.786.1. So when you look at face value is the amount, it's like the principal amount that you are investing and which you expect to get back upon maturity of your bond. So in this case, in the 10-year period that this investor is investing their money, they expect to get back 100,000 in addition to coupon interests that they'll be getting every quarter, in addition to an interest amount which they're referring to as a discount. And I'm going to explain that discount bit very soon. So on the face value, they're indicating how much they want to get upon maturity of this bond. Now, Bank of Zambia has to recompute the cost value of this face value investment. And the cost value is what you're buying this 100,000 bond investment, which is the 10-year bond investment for. So Bank of Zambia works backwards and recomputes your cost value. Okay, so using this formula, face value multiplied by cut-off price divided by the nominal value, Bank of Zambia recomputed the cost value on this bond application. They got the cut-off price, which is 51.7861, and multiplied this by the face value, which is 100,000 kwacha, and divided this amount by the nominal value, which is 100 kwacha. This resulted in the 51,786.1, which was deducted from this investor's bank account. The balance of 48,213.9 was left as a cash balance in the bank account. So one key thing to remember here is that when you indicate the face value on your application to Bank of Zambia is going to recompute the cost value based on the cut-off bid price, which you are going to take as a non-competitive bidder, and they are going to apply that cut-off price to your face value investment. When they apply that, they are going to compute your cost value, which is the amount they'll deduct from your bank account. Now, the balance that remains in your bank account is not technically the discount income. What remains in your bank account is just a bank balance. It's just cash that has remained after Bank of Zambia has deducted the cost value of your bond investment. Your interest income, the one you're referring to as the discount, is what you will get upon maturity of your 10-year bond. It's not sitting on your bank account. So don't confuse your cash balance to the interest income, even though if you look at the computation, it's the same amount. It's 48,281. However, your interest income is going to be gotten upon maturity of the 10-year bond. That is when Bank of Zambia is going to actually send you that cash. Right now, they haven't even sent it to you. What was this person supposed to do if they had wanted the entire 100,000 to be deducted from their bank account? Now, I need you to listen very carefully here, because the cut-off price is not known until the results of the bond, at which point Bank of Zambia has already apportioned all the bid applications. That is why you, as a non-competitive bidder, take the bid price. You are not really aware of how much is going to be deducted from your bank account. However, you can take a close estimate of how much Bank of Zambia should deduct from your bank account. And you can do that by using the previous month's cut-off price to determine the cost value of your face value investment in the government bond. So in this example, if you look at the 10-year bond, let's look at last month's bond results for a similar 10-year bond. What was the cut-off price? You find that the cut-off price was 51.110. So this investor should have recomputed the actual face value. So in other words, what this investor is trying to tell us is that the 100,000 kwacha is the cost value. Okay, because they want the entire 100,000 to be deducted by Bank of Zambia. And therefore, what they are telling us is that the 100,000 kwacha is the cost value. So they will need to do a little bit of maths. And in my previous videos on investing in government bonds, on what happens what happens when the bond matures, you get the actual computations of how to arrive at these values. However, let me just show you briefly how you can do this. So for you to get the actual face value amount of your cost value investment, you need to do some computations or some maths. You use the formula cost price multiplied by the nominal value divided by the cutoff price. So in this example, the cost price is the 100,000 kwacha because the investor wants the entire 100,000 kwacha to be deducted from their bank account. So that's the cost price, multiplied by the nominal value, which is always 100 kwacha, and then divide that by the cutoff price. Remember, we are using the previous month's cutoff price because we are estimating. We don't know what the final cutoff price is going to be for January. So we use the previous month's cutoff price, which is 51.110. This is going to give you an adjusted face value amount of 195,656.43. To get the exact face value, you need to round up or down using the floor or ceiling formulas. The key is you should not exceed your desired investment amount, in this case 100,000. So I used floor for this application, for this bid application, which gave me 195,000. So the 195,000 becomes the face value amount. Okay. Not that 100,000. That 100,000, remember, is the amount we want deducted from the bank account. Therefore, it is your cost value. So the recomputed face value amount is 195,000. Now you need to compute the actual cost value of this 195,000. Remember, to get the cost value, it's face value multiplied by the cutoff price divided by the nominal value. This will result in 99,664.5. As you can see, 99,664.5 is closer to 100,000, isn't it? And therefore, this investor should have used the previous month's bond results to estimate what the cost value of his recomputed face value amount of 195,000 costs. And the cost is what Bank of Zambia was going to deduct from his account. Remember, we don't know exactly how much BOZ is going to deduct from your bank account, but this, using the previous month results, gives you a closer estimate in terms of how much they are going to deduct. So, in summary, when you make an application to Bank of Zambia, the application form indicates the face value amount that you are investing. This means that this is the amount you are going to get upon maturity of that bond. Bank of Zambia is going to recompute that face value amount and get the cost value which they are going to deduct from your bank account, and which will be communicated to you through their award notice. If you want the entire amount of your face value to be deducted from your bank account, you need to recompute that face value. So don't indicate 100,000 kwacha if you don't want 100,000. If you want the entire 100,000 kwacha to be deducted, you need to recompute the new face value using the formulas I've indicated in this video. Once you get the new face value amount, then you need to get the actual cost value of that recomputed face value amount. That is going to be an estimate based on the previous month's bond results of a similar tenure bond. That is going to give you a closer estimate to how much BOZ is going to deduct from the bank account. Remember, nobody knows exactly how much Bank of Zambia is going to deduct from your bank account because you are competing as a non-competitive bidder, and therefore you take the final cut-off price. Okay, but using this estimate, you are going to get closer to how much you really want to invest in the government bond. Now, to finally address the issue of that discount in the question, that is not a discount, that is a cash balance. It should not be confused with the interest income, which many refer to as a discount that you get when your bond matures. So when your bond matures, you are going to get the full face value investment that you had indicated on your bond application back, in addition to biannual or quarterly coupon interest incomes that you were getting, as well as the final interest income, which is the difference between the face value amount that you've invested less the cost value that you've invested. That gives you your interest income. And interest income is not charged any taxes. What is charged taxes is your coupon income. So I felt it necessary for me to clarify this query. Thank you so much for watching. If you like today's video, don't you forget to smash the like button. And if you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing to my channel by clicking the subscribe button. It is up here. Click subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.